What's up, you Mullen investors and moneymakers? Welcome back to the channel. Will Mullen go to 20 cents? We have been pretty stable in terms of the price point. We did not really go to 10 cents, but the bigger question is when the bull or the green signal will start showing up. Right now, we are down 6.18% in last one trading session. 5 days, we are down 7%. 1 month, we are down 8%. So we are pretty stable. We went to 10 cents and then we sparked back up to 32 cents. Today's range pretty choppy, 14 to 15 cents. Yes, we were closed at 16 cents yesterday. Today we were at 14 and 15 cents for the most part. Nasdaq was in red but ended up in green. S&P is marginally up, whereas Dow Jones is up 0.31%. The bigger question for Mullen is when it is going to turn around. Can it go to 20 cents real quick? Can this be a swing trade stock for many people? So let's find out what is going on in Mullen words. Before I go ahead, I wanted to ask you to hit the like button because there's a lot of fear, uncertainty, and doubt, and we want to share this due diligence with more and more people. Of course, I'm not a financial advisor, nor I'm a certified professional. I do a ton of research, and in return, I like to give this information back to the community. So if you hit the like button, this video can be reached to more and more people. If you subscribe and turn on the notification bells, you don't miss out on many juicy, very interesting information. MULN Stock, number one, Bollinger has started building its pilot for B4 EV. That motor began designing validation for this B4 chassis cab. These deliveries of the B4 are expected to begin in July 2024. So that is 1 year from now. So it's not going to add any revenue, but there is a pretty good momentum you want to make sure that you want to really understand, because Mullen acquired 60% controlling interest in the company in 2022, if you remember. What is that? They acquired 60% of controlling assets in Bollinger's Motors in last September for $148 million in cash and stock. And the commercial EV vehicle company also made just an exciting announcement this morning that it is going to marking its first press release since November 2022. Bollinger has disclosed that it has initiated the process for designing validation pilot that builds for B4 chassis cab. The vehicle build testing and demonstration have begun manufacturing process in collaboration with Roush Industries at its facility in Michigan. Now, Bollinger Motors has over 8 years of experience in developing, producing, testing all-electric truck, which perfectly fits into what Mullen wants to do. So it meets with their mission and vision. So this is going to create one more revenue stream for Mullen in 2024. Number one reason why we are struggling in terms of cash is Mullen doesn't have enough revenue. Now, if they start making sell, does not necessarily mean that they will be cash rich, because they need to find out the margin. But what can happen is the circulation of money. And when you get delta meaning whatever the margin is, sell price and overall the manufacturing cost, including all their EBITDA, which is operational overhead, so on and so forth, logistics, you make profit. But when you have the cycle running up, like Lucid is selling what, 150 million, 250 million, something along those lines in terms of the revenue. And again, you can't really compare Lucid with Mullen because they are two separate. While they're in the same industry, they're the same EV stock, same EV companies, they have different ball game. But what I'm trying to say is, if you start generating more and more revenue, you build trust, you build confidence, and then the stock is pretty. Stock has a pretty bullish momentum, right? All in all, the first 5 completed B4s are expected to arrive this summer, while another 15 plus B4s are expected to arrive in September 30th. So that is again a good news. That will get a lot of PR. That will get a lot of buzz as well. With this, in September, Bollinger will hold a demonstration of its pilot built at the demonstration and testing facility at University of Michigan North Campus. And the company has contracted multiple upfitting partners to accommodate the needs for the potential fleet customer. So with that, this is again a pretty good update from Mullen. Now, B4 carries gross vehicle weight rating 15,000 pounds and it is ranging 185 miles. All in all, again, it's a great update. Number 2 is Mullen Automotive is the most compelling penny stock. You know that Mullen is one of the very popular meme stock. We have seen it went from 10 cents to 32 cents. So people 3x their money, or people had 200% profit just within a few days, and I covered on my channel. So you missed out on that. Make sure you're subscribed and you have turned on the notification bell. Mullen shares have plummeted close to 98%, as you already know. If you are new to this stock, let's take a look at last 6 months. You will see 98% down. Year to date, 98% down. Will this turn around? But are profits on the way? That's the bigger question. Mullen Automotive's share has plummeted by 99% since IPO in 2021 due to the absence of revenue generation and a high cash burn rate. Now, if you don't know what is a high cash burn rate, you should be able to see that here. They burned $114 million in Q1 2023. Q4, $376 million burned. Q3, $611 million burned. Now, this is not burnt, but this is, again, did not really generate the revenue that Wall Street is looking for. And I totally agree that if you have a well-oiled machine, it should be making money. If it doesn't make money, does not make sense. The EV company has taken the measures such as hiring firm to investigate the illegal market practices. Now, one of the things Mullen is struggling, there are 2 reasons why Mullen is struggling. Number 1, that they don't have cash and revenue, of course. And number 2, the short sellers, right? Now, the short sellers are pretty huge. 55.20% short selling happened yesterday on 18th of July, which is massive. Before that, 50%, before that, 55%, so on and so forth. So the story continues. And it is an ugly story to talk about because that brought the stock price down, again, below $1 price point. So Mullen will already know that there is naked short selling happening. Some of Mullen share is on target. It's an illegal short selling happening. They are unable to prevent that from happening, and it has been a long time. Now, is Mullen trying to do that? Yes. Mullen Automotive retains the law firm to investigate, combat naked short selling. They got all the information that they need from Share Intel, a company called Share Intel. They also mentioned that they decided to investigate and expose potential wrongdoing. According to various disclosed sources, the company that they have hired, it's a pretty good thing. It's a pretty good company. And based on the report, what Share Intel told Mullen, they believe that it has been a target of market manipulation scheme involving illegal naked short selling of its common stock. And that is why they are going to investigate this. Mullen's volatility in the share price, of course, significant stock dilution, and challenges in fulfilling its promises pose obstacle for company's long-term viability. Now, you know that volatility in terms of this price point, I already told you, it went from 10 cents to 32 cents, from 32 cents to 15 cents. So someone who bought it at 32 cents back to 15 cents, right? Now, they're losing 50% of their total investment. Now, this is the beauty of the penny stock. People who bought from 10 went to 30, sold it, made money. And which is why you want to play it pretty wisely in this kind of risky assets, because they're volatile asset. You want to make sure, personally, what I do, and again, I'm not a financial advisor, but what I do is I do not invest more than 5 to 7% of my total portfolio in penny stock or in such a heavy risky asset. I bought Dogecoin, I bought Mullen, I bought a lot of other stock, but I always tend to book profit. Another thing is Lucid is something different. You want to buy, but I swing trade it. You can watch my Lucid video. We made money, call it a day, happy ending, right? Like, once again, I'm going to buy. I seriously believe in Lucid, that it has massive potential. But when I get a chance, I try to make money as much as possible. Many times I ride for free. Electric vehicle startup Mullen Automotive watched the share crumbled. We know that. One of the main reasons Mullen share price has plummeted to this extreme point is they have never generated $1 in revenue in IPO. Another thing I wanted to tell you when we talked about these promises is, if you remember what Lawrence told us, the $10 billion Saudi deal, whatever, Mullen never told us about any Saudi deal. Mullen officially did not have any PR about the Saudi deal for $10 billion or even $500 million for that matter. However, Lawrence was associated with Mullen stock, give or take. So people saw Mullen in Lawrence, and that created some of the confusion, some of the FUD, and Saudi deal never happened. In addition, Mullen couple of times mentioned about some of the sales, whatnot. We saw the sale on the balance sheet, which was $300,000 and a little bit of a change. In addition, continues to report high cash burn rate with loss of nearly $960 million, ladies and gentlemen, which is close to $1 billion US dollars, which is pretty massive. The combination of the high operating cost and a lack of profitability makes it extremely difficult for Mullen for finding financing. To raise enough cash to continue operating, Mullen diluted its float from $1.75 billion to $5 billion in shares. And as you can imagine, if the float goes higher, there is dilution. Now, when there's dilution, the stock will take a lot of time to get back up because you think about overall market cap. Now, if you think about the overall market cap right now, it's under $100 million as of now, close to $95 million. Now, if it has to go to 10x the price point, think about like if it goes to $1.50 organically. I'm not talking about reverse stock split. It will be about $1 billion in terms of the market cap because you have to multiply this by 10. $945 million, which is close to 1,000 million, which is a billion. Are we expecting $1 billion market cap on Mullen? Not really anytime soon because they need to prove themselves first, right? In May, Mullen executed 1-for-25 reverse stock split in effort to keep the NASDAQ compliance or in effort to keep it not delisting from NASDAQ. Stock exchange, it artificially put Mullen about $1 price point, but it did not prevent the share price from going downwards. In the upcoming months following the reverse stock split, Mullen already lost about 93% of the value. Mullen illegal tracking, the trading of task force, it is there, but nothing is happening. One of the bigger things that can happen that can put Mullen about 20 cents is if they announce anything about the buyback plan, that when they're going to start buy that. Right now, of course, Mullen is struggling with money. I don't know whether they have $1 million spare to start the buyback program. But if they come back and tell us that, oh, they're buying back little by little, it is going to be massive. And it can put Mullen easily around 25, 30, 35 cents. In early July, company announced that $25 million shares buyback plan through the end of this year using the cash reserve. According to the statement, Mullen believes that the stock is significantly undervalued. And I agree with that as well. I understand that too. Again, the bigger problem is not really the stock is a lower price point. Bigger problem is the short sellers. If the short seller stops short selling, 60%, 65%, 55%, massive short selling, if that stops, the stock will organically go to 50 cents. And it has trading a significant discount in the cash position of approximately $235 million at the time of the announcement, company told us, right? Mullen issued about $150 million in total, 12 months trailing, which helped raise cash from financing of $263.8 million in the same period. But now the road is becoming more tougher for Mullen because how much money they can get if they keep burning cash. Mullen valued market cap, we saw that 95 million, and again, it is really concerning the way that they're burning cash. Mullen is expanding their portfolio. We talked about Power Up, we talked about Bollinger, we talked about EV charging truck, and $308,000 in revenue. I think what we need to see from Mullen is, again, revenue price point or the revenue or sales price point. They need to sell more and more and more. Make sure that they have at least $25-30 million in revenue. We do believe that Mullen has potential, but they need to run fast. I think Mullen is back into the positive trajectory. They received the orders from Newgate Motor. What is that order looks like? 30 of Mullen Automative Vehicle, Mullen Go. That is accounted for $321,000, which is new added revenue for Mullen. They are also doing this pilot program with New York Power Authority testing in the campus EV upstate in New York, which is going to add, again, a small revenue, but it's a pretty good use case, and they can replicate this over and over and over again. No revenue is bad revenue. No sales is bad sales. If they can make money, they can convince people to invest in them. So that's, again, you want to consider. We started seeing some of the positive news. An article from a couple of different publications. Take a look at what Investor Place said. Is Mullen stock ready to turn a corner? Because they're charging truck model, they have Power Up, their share buyback program, and they are making all the efforts to combat naked short selling. Write down in the comment section below what do you think, but all in all, I do think that there is massive potential. However, it's a risky asset. However, it can go either way. You can make 2x, 3x, 5x return in the stock. On the flip side, you can lose 50 to 70% as well. So do your own due diligence and play it for fun and not to make a ton of money. And then you can adjust your position as we go. All in all, I think I like what I see from Mullen. It can go to 20 cents or maybe 25 cents, given there are some positive news, given they have some of the announcement around the buyback program, or they can just share some of the juicy and interesting update around their revenue and more order and money hitting their bank account. With that, I just wanted to say, do hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, turn on the notification bell. I'll see you in the next video. Thanks for watching.